Notting Hill, day 1 of 2 for this December doubleheader event within the Five Nations Rallycross competition. And Patrick O'Donovan has had a very good debut day in RX150s, and he is the man that lines up on pole position. 81, Chris Hoy, cycling legend, no mean racing driver himself. He's on the middle of row 1. Jessica Hawkins on the outside of the front row, number 53. The second row, 89, Jake Harris driving today. Brother Brett tomorrow. 19, championship leader Steve Jones for company. And then the third row, newcomer Duncan Cowper. In number 6, Ewan McGuinness, son of John McGuinness, who's been here in supercar action today on the middle of that row. And then Billy Alexander is not there. He should be, but he's not there for the last place on the grid. So a non-starter is 82 Billy Alexander, but he would have been the 8th of the 8. The grid is formed. It's 6 laps for the RX150 final, and we are just about good to go. Patrick O'Donovan then defecting from juniors to RX150s and doing a very, very good job thus far. So is he going to have a final victory as well? Let's find out. We're ready to race, and a jump start by Jess Hawkins. She went when the ready to race light went out, didn't wait for the green, and will be put back into place, and the penalty may well come as a consequence of that. So a false start. She was the only one that moved, in fairness, so the other drivers making sure that their cars are exactly where they need to be. And Jess Hawkins will be given the message about being the cause of that false start, and we'll have to try all over again. So everybody is good to go, I think, just about, for the second attempt. And there should, as I say, be a penalty board to be shown to the culprit, namely Jess Hawkins. And there is the board which says 2 joker laps. So Jess Hawkins gets the message. So the penalty for a false start, a double joker, and that instantly puts her on the back foot. We had it from Julian Godfrey in a supercar semi-final earlier on in the day. Ready to race light is on, and the drivers now accelerate away. And actually Jess Hawkins makes a really, really good start from the outside of the front row, and she knows she's got to get on with the programme here in 6 laps and 2 jokers. So she leads from POD, Patrick O'Donovan in second place. Both of them absolutely as one then as they go across the loose for the first time. Championship leader Steve Jones runs third as these RX150s hop their way across the loose, heading towards tarmac once more. But Jess Hawkins leads us to the outside line. For third place goes Jake Harris. Is he going to be able to get through? The answer is no. Steve Jones fends him off. So Jess Hawkins leads, but can she build a gap over Patrick O'Donovan to consolidate after 1 joker? Even that's going to be tough, never mind 2. All she can do now is to see what pans out, because you've got dramas at the top of the hill. I think Steve Jones has come to a halt on the racing line. So the championship leader looks like he stopped at the hairpin. We'll see a yellow flag, I'm sure, up there. We might even get a stoppage if the car doesn't move. So the leaders go by. Jess Hawkins then goes joker. Patrick O'Donovan takes over the race lead. There he is, coming across the loose section of the circuit. But at the top of the hill, the car stranded is that of, no, not Steve Jones, to tell you a lie, Duncan Cowper, and we do have a red flag. The race is being stopped, no choice, because that car is on the apex for the hairpin. So the red flag comes out on lap 2. So if it's a complete restart, that's going to help Jessica Hawkins, isn't it? Or will she still have to carry her 2 joker laps into a restarted race? But anyway, Duncan Cowper is the cause of the interruption, and that car will need to be removed. So the race is stopped. We'll have a restart shortly. If Jess Hawkins comes out with a win here, she owes Duncan Cowper a big drink, because his triggering the red flag has given her the get-out-of-jail-free card, in a sense. Right, we're ready to go. Don't blow it this time, Jess, by creeping at the start. Let's see. It's still 6 laps, and it's go. Not as good a start, though, this time. Good getaway is made by Jake Harris in 89, but it's going to be Patrick O'Donovan that leads, and a bit of leaning, in fact, going on there as Chris Hoy went for the Joker lap and almost swiped Jessica Hawkins with him, and in fact Jessica's got problems. Her car has picked up damage and will not turn. It's on the grass on the outside of the Joker and is out of the race. So can you believe it? A restart, but now her car picked up a bit of damage and is an early retirement from a race that she had a real chance of winning. So Patrick O'Donovan leads the way as the cars climb the mountain for the first time up towards the hairpin. In second place, by the look of it, it's going to be Stephen Jones, and they will drop downhill with Jake Harris third. But as I say, it's Chris Hoy darting to the Joker and kind of taking Jess Hawkins with him that's triggered the damage and put her out of the race. As Patrick O'Donovan, they see what I mean about the Nerf bar in front of it, leads the way. Second is Jones, third, leaping over the curb, is Harris. But if you do that too spectacularly, as you've just seen, it compromises you all the way down to the Joker, fishtail your way down to that section of the circuit. Up there comes Steve Jones then, and we've also got a spin for Ewan McGuinness now down on the loose at Chessons. So as Patrick O'Donovan as the leader turns his way out of the Devil's Elbow, they are falling like flies in this, either with terminal problems or interruptions to their races. But actually the lead gap's coming down, isn't it? Stephen Jones is letting everybody else have problems, and he's getting on with it. He's probably the most experienced RX150 pilot there is on the grid these days, and he's hunting down the leader as they come towards the loose section once again then. So the leading car is that of O'Donovan. Further back, the fight's on for third, where Jake Harris there is being given a hard time coming out of the chicane by Chris Hoy. Now, does that put Hoy as the best of those that have jokered? No, Harris has jokered as well, so that's the battle for top joker for the minute, as Steve Jones then down the Dover slope chases after Patrick O'Donovan. The gap starting this lap was just over a second as they make the climb up the hill once more. So the championship leader, Steve Jones, going after somebody who is going to be a real factor for the championship given his pace today. Patrick O'Donovan, there he is. Dan Orley has always been a prime mover of the RX150 category, and as he comes downhill towards paddock, Stephen Jones with a lock-up throws the car sideways, scrubs off a little bit of speed, possibly a bit of momentum as well, as 3 laps now go into the book. O'Donovan goes through, making this look relatively straightforward thus far, because Jones just can't get close enough to attack, can he? So through they turn once more. And there, number 13, Patrick O'Donovan, sprinting his way uphill once again. Now, the advantage he had last time around was just over a second. It's Jones second, and they're third and fourth. Harris ahead of Hoy. So Chris Hoy, who was in a supercar here in August, now attacking this rallycross in an RX150. And as you would expect, gives a good account of himself. Going through the back, you just saw Ewan McGuinness in 5th place, as there, bouncing over the curb, goes the car in the hands of leader Patrick O'Donovan. Now, what's his advantage over Steve Jones? It's virtually doubled to 2 seconds now. So as the cars come through onto the loose once more and then back onto tarmac, O'Donovan works lap 5 out of 6 and he's pretty much away and gone. However, he's got to Joker. He's going to do that on the last lap. So what he's been concentrating on is just pushing and pushing and pushing and building that gap. So he has the advantage then as the cars make the climb up the hill for second and third. He's already on his way downhill, heading towards paddock. Through the right, onto the loose. Last lap board goes out for him. Jake Harris in third, fending off the challenge of Chris Hoy, who actually has never really got quite close enough to have a proper go here. Through the Joker lap he's going, O'Donovan there, and he's going to stay ahead, yes, comfortably, of Steve Jones. So brilliant debut in RX150s this for Patrick O'Donovan. Steve Jones chases on in second place. There, Jake Harris for third, gives up the car for brother Brett for tomorrow. So he wants to go out with a notional podium here. And then in 4th place, Chris Hoy, as Patrick O'Donovan makes the climb up towards the hairpin. Goes through the right-hander now, onto the power. Downhill, checker flag awaits. Might even have to think about some lappering because Ewan McGuinness ain't that far on the road. Yes, he will escape being lap Ewan McGuinness, but he's a long way adrift. So, checker flag at the ready, and Patrick O'Donovan wins. First time out in RX150s. He wins the final. Second goes the way of Steve Jones, the championship leader, to extend the advantage Then you've got Jake Harris for third, and Chris Hoy takes fourth, and then virtually a lap behind is going to be Ewan McGuinness in fifth.